Uh, Hello, teacher. We are now with my friend Emmy. How are you?
Hello, I'm Emilio Gloria and I am 15 years old.
Okay. Tell us about Emmy. What was your best trip ever?
The best trip that I have ever made was my Euro trip.
Okay.
I went to Netherlands, and then I went to Germany, then I went to France, and then I went to Spain.
Okay.
During my Netherlands, I stayed at the house of one of my aunts, and uh, there I got to know my cousins for the first time. And then I went to during my visit to the Netherlands, I went to Amsterdam, I went to Rotterdam, I went to Haarlem, and to Utrecht. I think that my favorite moment during my Netherlands visit was definitely Haarlem. It's pretty similar to Amsterdam, but it's not as
Quite equal.
visited. It's not as visited as Amsterdam. It's not as touristic as Amsterdam.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
it was pretty much less people than in Amsterdam. And then during my visit to Germany, I only visited Berlin. In Berlin, I stayed at one of my uncle's apartment. And during my visit, I think that my favorite moment was when I visited the parliament
Okay.
of Berlin. It's such a
Such a
beautiful building from the inside and from the outside. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
And then during my visit to France, I went to Paris and to Versailles.
Okay.
During my during my visit to Paris, my favorite place was definitely the opera.
Okay.
It's such beautiful. It's also beautiful from the outside and from the inside. And then my favorite moment at Versailles was the garden of the Versailles Palace. It's huge. It's beautiful from the outside. And then during my visit to Spain, I stayed at Madrid, but I also visited Sevilla and Granada. My favorite place of Madrid was the Museo de la Reina Sofía, and my favorite place at Sevilla was the center, the downtown, the Sevilla downtown, and then favorite place at Granada was the La Alhambra.
Okay. Bye.
Okay.
What was the worst part of that trip? That it was also incredible, but obviously there is such a bad things that happens. No?
My worst experience during my trip is that during my visit to Berlin one night, I got a call from Johan, the director of the multicultural program, and well, he told me that I wasn't able to miss more than 2 weeks of my trip. I wasn't able to miss more than 2 weeks of classes, so I wasn't going to be able to finish my trip.
Okay.
So the last city that I got to visit was Madrid. And my parents then went to Turkey. They visited Istanbul, and then they returned to Netherlands. And I wasn't able to visit Turkey.
No, that's so sad.
Yeah.
And do you meet an interesting person or person that was special for you in the trip?
There was this waiter in Paris. It was a restaurant really near to the Eiffel Tower. this person was an amazing guy. He was just funny, and he told us like the most important places to visit in Paris, and he was such a nice person to us.
Okay.
Yes.
That's incredible. And that trip, you think that changed someone into you, or was just a very good experience?
It was just a very good experience, and I mean, it obviously had a really big repercussion, because now my new life goal is to get to live in one of the places that I visited, because it was just beautiful and I really want to live there in the future. And I think that was the biggest repercussion that this trip had in myself.
Okay, that's very good. Thank you very much, Amy, to stay here with me, and that's all.
Thank you, Jerry.